Welcome, Angry Faithful. Yes, and we stopped doing Twitch. We're not going live on Twitch anymore. It's just YouTube and X now. So if you're a Twitch watcher, sorry. Not many people are doing it on there, and we weren't getting that many comments, and it's just gonna be easier on my brain just to do X and YouTube. But Bill, you got rid of the Hitler stash.
Yeah, but now I just noticed I trimmed it a little short.
That's fine, Bill, as long as we don't have like the full-on Hitler stash. We've had more comments on your Hitler stash. I was like, oh, he has a red MAGA hat. Well, it pans out with the Hitler stash. I'm like, he doesn't have it's a full-grown beard. It's just his body wants to go more Hitler.
Yeah, you probably saw it for years at work because I would dye my whole hair and beard and hair and mustache every once in a while because I would get it and I'd go, oh, I look like Hitler again, and I'd get out the dye.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Nazis, yeah, apparently people are keying Teslas, which you have your background, your Teslas is a foreshadow that we've already covered the whole they are creating a economic catastrophe, or not an economic catastrophe, environmentally catastrophe by lighting up Teslas. Now they're starting to key them and carving in Nazi symbols, which is really funny. It's really funny for the basic fact of just 2 years. Jeez, Bill. Just like 2 to 3 years beforehand, everybody was praising Tesla because it was an electric car. It's going to save the environment. And they're like, oh, wait a minute. He's on the right now? Screw you. We don't care about the environment anymore, which those things are just horrible for the environment.
Yeah, it was never about the environment anyway.
Yeah, we did we go over that one day about how a lot of the charities for environmental friendliness is all being paid for by like Russia and China.
Well, yeah, and they do have their own thing, and I won't go into it because I can't remember the details. Is it Greenpeace may have just got sued into oblivion?
Yes.
I think what, 600 million was it?
Hold on, let's get our facts straight. Greenpeace sue. Oh, yeah. Jury delivers verdict finding Greenpeace entitled liable for more than $660 million. Okay. Okay. Mandan, North Dakota, a Motor County jury of 9 reached a verdict in an energy transferred merit lawsuit against Greenpeace entitled the U.S. Greenpeace Incorporated and Greenpeace Fund in Greenpeace and our international finding entitled liable for more than $660 million today. Big oil bullies. Okay, big oil bullies around the world will continue to try to silence free speech and peaceful protest, but fight against energy transfer, meritless SLAPP lawsuit is not over. We are witnessing a disastrous turn to reckless behavior that's fueled the climate crisis, and this is coming from the Greenpeace website. So this is they're trying to show themselves as the good guy. Now, what's the reason why they are being sued?
while being terrorists, and it was a protest. I think it was on Indian land or with Indians or something, protesting pipeline. It was a pipeline protest, and right now, Hochul in New York, she's getting in some hot water with the administration because she's trying to stop a pipeline that we're trying to clear again that was stopped previously, that could drop energy rates for people up in the Northeast up to 50%. But gotta follow the environmentalist crap. And
let me get a duck go thing, because all I'm seeing right now is all I'm seeing is we're being stopped because of this. Okay, Dallas Morning. I can trust that because it's Dallas. Okay, Dallas-based Energy Transfer Society argued that Greenpeace indicts protests that cost them millions of dollars. Okay, it's just, and they're going, and Greenpeace is saying, which we just got from the Greenpeace website, that it's against protesting and it's against free speech.
Yeah, no, it was destruction in North Dakota.
Yeah,
I have a friend who's in North Dakota, and he was like, "Hooray! Look what my state did!" And it fought them.
Yeah,
he was thrilled. It was in his state.
Yeah, a lot of these. I mean, they call it protesting, but they do stupid stuff like blocking the highway. Yes, you're going to get your point across, but you're going to anger a lot of people that's not going to hear your protest. They're going to go off as like, hey, these protesters are in the way of traffic, and a lot of motorists are upset. That's what everybody's going to hear. They're not going to hear, well, why were, because I asked that too. It was like, well, what are they protesting? Oh, nobody knows.
Unless you're watching the other media, and then you won't hear about the inconvenience and people late for work and all that. You'll just hear, look, they're doing what they need to do. It's a mostly peaceful protest. And then you get the latest thing, the way they're protesting about Tesla. And okay, they can burn a field of Teslas and then J6. Well, we didn't do they didn't do mass destruction on J6. And yes, most of them were trespassing political prisoners. And that's what we spent hundreds of millions of dollars of FBI resources on. But
no, that wasn't why the FBI paid that much money. It's because of the FBI that was there. They counted that as part of the investigation.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the 4-year long, the amount of money they put instead of looking for drug dealers and rapists and murderers, the amount of money they put into the entire FBI force doing nothing but going after J6 people for the entire, the agency across the country as a whole.
Okay.
But now it's Tesla, great. Look what we can do with that.
Tesla stock is way down, almost disastrously so. People have been vandalizing Tesla vehicles, new Tesla vehicles. Please don't vandalize. Don't ever vandalize Tesla vehicles. And so
yeah, the audience squeals with laughter on that.
That's been happening quite a bit. I mean, even on the Daily Show when they're talking about that, I was like, oh, people are vandalizing Tesla vehicles. And most of the time on shows like these, when they have live audiences, sometimes they put up the applause sign and then they do that. I mean, it happens, but sometimes,
yeah, but it's not just him. It's all of the shows and all of the legitimate news shows. There's only been a couple of people who have been on CNN or MSNBC who has said, hey, wait a minute, this shouldn't be happening. Otherwise, this crap has been defended by news media It's defended by the politicians. There's only a couple of politicians who spoke out against it. They're all cheering it on. They're cheering on protests, and then you get something like, and he put this on his own X page. He's so proud of it.
I mean, turn it up.
Uh-oh.
225 and dropping.
Okay, that's
on my phone. I don't know some of you know this on the iPhone. They've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So and if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, and take out, just telling you. Saying on my phone, I don't know some of you know this on the iPhone.
What's sad? Okay, I got where is it?
what's really sad is the state of Minnesota, for the Minnesota Board of Investment, the state pension retirement fund has 1.6 million shares of Tesla in it. and then the non-retirement investment fund for the state of his state of Minnesota has 211,000 shares of Tesla in it. So all these idiots going, yay, Tesla's dropping, yay, Tesla's. Yes, so are your pensions, especially these big fancy union pensions that are a lot of these liberals going out. Yeah.
I like this one. I like this one a lot better since you were bringing up Tim Watts, and a lot of people are going against Tim Watts.
Waltz.
Hilarious. Waltz. Yeah. Tennessee Waltz, the charity wrestling events against Waltz and Jacobs. Jacobs, if you don't know very much about that or wrestling, since the Ding 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 podcast has come up, you get back into wrestling and everything. Jacobs, Glenn Jacobs, is the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee, where he is also Kane from WWE.
Have no clue.
Yeah. Well, anyways, the Big Red Machine, half brother of Undertaker.
I've heard of him.
But another one is actually from the Drinking Bros. Let me pull this up. I think I sent this to you. Yeah, I sent this to you. Let me bring this up real quick.
I think I could kick most of their ass. I do think.
Tim Walz is talking about Trump supporters and that he could kick all their asses. Tim Walz, I challenge you to mutual combat under Texas Penal Code Section 22.06. Bring your bitch ass down here and I will twist you up like a pretzel and use your tears to water my lawn. You gay little bitch. You've never done anything manly in your life. When it came time for you to actually go to war and serve your country, you bailed out to go be a government stooge. You. Tim Walz, or you see him in public and you want to play this video for him, screen record it on your phone and show it to him. You, Tim Walz, come to Texas and I'll beat the out of you.
That gave me a little bit of warmness in my heart. Dude, he's a fucking stooge, okay? If you listen to him, if you listen to Tim Walz and you praise him, just know you're a bottom feeder. Honestly. You are the lowest of the low because that's what he is. He is the lowest of the low.
But now they have become the party of Tim Walz and AOC. And that's great. Let them become the leader. They're out there going, we're going to be the leader. And so the radical, the loud minority in the Democrat Party has taken over. And as long as they proclaim leadership, they're going to lose the next several election cycles.
Because the next election that I'm really worried about is the mid with Congress.
Yeah, if
I'm worried about that.
yeah, if we lose that, you know,
It's
yeah,
gonna be like 2 years of crap.
yeah, it's over. You know, the other thing with the Teslas that they're doing is this garbage.
What is this? I
He's
mean,
gouging a swastika in a
yeah.
Cybertruck.
Yeah, I talked about that, like, in the beginning of the, thing, but yeah, that's what they're doing now. This
Yeah,
is
but
just
I got a couple of this guy, Cat Turd and a couple others put it up there and said, make this guy famous. And they all said, okay, has anyone seen this guy? Is anyone in Colorado? Yeah, I've been to that mall. Oh, look, I found him at this protest. Look at the white stripe on the backpack and the tattoo. Yep, there he is. And they identified him, and they pegged him, and I think they've arrested him. But and then Pam Bondi comes out and says, look, you're going to get up to 20 years. And the thing is, she's going to find there's people behind it. Because like they said a little while ago, all these signs that you're seeing that all of them are holding up are all professionally made, and they're all the same.
Yeah.
It's like the same company is making it. So I hope that when they find the people behind it, that they pull like a RICO against them as organized terrorists.
Well, it's NOGs, man.
Well,
it really is. A lot of the NOGs have, and this is what they found out here recently, is a lot of those NOGs have actually been paying people to protest. I mean, who has fucking money to go out and go protest in the middle of the day? So what they've been doing is they give them like $1,000 to protest at an event, and they feed them, do whatever. I mean, if I'm down on my luck, yeah, I'll take $1,000 and a free sandwich, and I'll go protest whatever. I just hope that the protest isn't like the genocide of a people, but
one of the Columbia University's criteria is for admission is they're basically looking for activists who want to protest. And that came out now in his, cutting the funding to Columbia. And that's one of the things he said is you have to get rid of masking and you have to change your admission standards. And that's why, because their admission standards has been geared toward finding protesters.
Yeah. And it's really scary to the point where, I mean, wasn't the where was he from? They just sent him. They just took his visa away, his student visa, because he was Palestinian.
Yeah, I think I'm not exactly sure.
No, that's what it was. It was a Palestinian, because it's been like in the news since last week, and they literally, I think Columbia might be changing their tune only because Trump took away $500 million of government grant to that university after they found out. And a lot of these places that are doing stuff like that, they're losing government money.
Right. And he's taking more away because they won't fix it. And then a little while ago they said they were talking about, is he going to give the $400 million? No, not yet. He's looking at taking more money away through other programs. And he's saying, you do this and we won't take the additional money away. Not you do that and we'll give you the $400 million back. He hasn't agreed to that yet. Got one more key thing to put up. So that guy was at the DFW airport. He was in the airport parking area, and he did that. And someone did a really good freeze frame of him and zoomed in on his face, and I think they've caught that guy too. That was one of the posts. It says Josh Dunlap posted, "Make this guy famous," and they're all fine looking for it. And the thing is, Tesla has I don't know how many, 8 or something like, or maybe more cameras all around it, and you can put it in Sentry mode. Now, one thing about Sentry mode is sometimes if someone's going to park like at a airport parking lot and they're going to be gone for a week, sometimes they don't put it in Sentry mode because Sentry mode does draw a lot of power. And in a week, you could be possibly, depending on how much charge you had when you went in there, dead. So they don't always put it on Sentry mode, but I think they're saying that everyone should just make sure they keep it on Sentry mode now. Because he just had a car dealership or repair shop. You know, they don't have many actual Tesla dealerships. They rely on the internet. They don't rely on actual dealerships come in and shop.
Yeah.
But there was a repair center that had 80 vehicles in it, and they got in there. I think it may have been yesterday, and all of them were vandalized. And it was 80 that were in for repair, so they were other people's vehicles. So they're not. It was a repair shop, so it's 80 vehicles in there for repair. And like I said, it's not like a lot of Teslas in some small area needed repair. It's a wide-ranging region, could be a region, but there were 80 of them, and he's going to put everything, I think, into Sentry mode now. And people are saying he needs to have guards, and then people are arguing, well, he shouldn't do it. The police should do it, and then the federal government should do it. I don't know how they're going to end up doing. That argument is going on today.
Okay, this is how it should go. And this is just how things go. Okay. You can't have federal government. You can't have police. Police can go and drive by it they can have like a rotating shift. The people just drive by it every once in a while. And they'll do that like every 30 minutes or so, depending on how big the place is and how many cops is and how many, like, I think the big time to for cops is like, and this is all first responders. The time frame for all first responders is 11 p.m. to about, depending on the city, probably around about 4 a.m. After 4 a.m., it's quiet. 4 to 3 a.m. It's really just really quiet. They usually take their breaks by then. And mind you, don't use this to fucking do criminal stuff. And you tell everybody, it's like, well, I learned it on this podcast. What the hell? Angry Me production. But that's the time frame for police. That's when they're most busiest. Most of the time, it's like on a Friday and Saturday. But yeah, it's always been like that.
They did a check on this house at about 5:30 in the morning one morning.
Oh, really?
I was at a casino and I had some weird feeling about the house. And I pulled up the cameras because I've got security system and I've got cameras. And I pulled up the cameras and I looked at my cats and I thought I heard a noise at the front door, and 2 of my cats were just frozen like statues staring at the front door.
Was it a ghost?
And then the one in the bedroom was looking toward the bedroom door that would have been toward the front door. So I thought someone was possibly trying to break in because, and then a little bit later, I'm watching them and I thought I heard a thump at the back door, and they turned around and they stared at I called the police and asked them if they could do a check. So I'm watching the cameras. It's about an hour or so later. I can see the flashlights going in through the windows, and I saw the security light in the backyard kick on. So they made their rounds and checked, and there's no charge. You can say, hey, can you check on my house?
Yeah, they do.
Welfare check.
Yeah. Now that's another thing that we didn't talk about last week when we wanted to talk about this. We want a big different, because we're part of the community of YouTubers and everything, even though we're really small and everybody thinks you're Hitler. So,
although there is something called a like button, it's down there, I think. And there's also there's also a subscribe button, and that's pretty neat because sometimes we do some cool ass shit, and you might want to catch it. We haven't done it yet, but we might even get into where when there's breaking news, you can rely on us. We're there.
Yeah.
So
we are almost 400 subscribers. So
cool. Hi guys.
But yeah, most of them are just looking at the shorts. So people getting doxxed. Tentpole's gotten doxxed. Who is the other ones again, Bill?
There's a list. Or you mean the swatted?
Swatted, yes.
Yeah, there's I saw a couple more today. Who were swatted. There's at least probably a couple of dozen now. A couple of dozen.
Yeah.
And if you talk to someone who doesn't get into politics on X or doesn't watch, the sane news media, they don't even know what swatting is. They don't know all this is happening.
Not even the cops know it.
Yeah, not even the cops. One of the cops who was at the scene, and another one had told him about it being a possible that, and he was like, what's going on?
Yeah. I mean,
but
Donut Operator has been swatted several times. One time he was in North Carolina, and it's like there's no one there. Of course, he's also was like, well, can we check your no? It's called the Fourth Amendment.
Well, one thing about guarding the Tesla dealerships is Pam Bondi is declaring them a domestic terrorist organization being behind this.
Yeah,
she is, and it's just not petty vandalism. These people who do this crap, if they do the bombing, the Molotov cocktails, and all that, they're gonna get up to 20 years. Up to 20 years, she said, and they're making any of this vandalism not a misdemeanor; it's all a felony. So at least, I guess the one, if you can call it a plus, I don't really call it a plus, but the one plus is everyone that does it is that's another liberal who can't vote.
That is kind of funny. that is hilarious if you can get that through.
But it's the latest thing that's going to be, what is it? I didn't have the right video up. There's going to be a major protest next week, and crashing mentally here, but watch out for it. It's a major protest for Tesla nationwide that they're putting together, but they have actually backed down and told the people a couple of days ago, or yesterday, put out a message, don't vandalize, because after Pam Bondi put out her, up to 20 years thing, and they're actually catching these people and locking them up. They can't, the main people behind the group came out and said, just kind of protest it. So we'll see what actually happens. They're literally pieces of shit. And people are like, what's going on? Why do you have all these people doing January 6th? No, January 6th, we didn't burn crap to the ground. We didn't destroy private property, people's property. We didn't go after people. And their whole thing is, and why they're a terrorist organization, is look at the definition of terrorist. They are doing this as a political statement to terrorize people, to get them to change their mind politically.
Yeah.
That's how they're deemed now, as full-blown terrorists.
Yeah.
Because it is terrorism what they're doing. It isn't just a little protest. It isn't like the Bud Light thing where, we're just not going to buy it. We didn't blow up Bud Light trucks.
Or
we didn't blow up Target because they sold Bud Light.
I don't know. Maybe the main reason why they think they can get away with it is because Kid Rock shot a bunch of Bud Light cans with a machine gun.
Yeah.
What's really sad about that is he did that, and Bud Light is sponsoring him for his concerts, and they've given. He's like, I don't have to buy Bud Light anymore. I have like 4 or 5 cases. No, crates. 4 or 5 crates of Bud Light at my house now.
Yeah. And the only thing that was killed in that was his own purchases of Bud Light that
Yeah.
he was shooting. But then you've got idiots who buy an entire $25,000-$30,000 Tesla and go, look, I bought this and it's my Tesla, so I'm going to destroy it. What a fucking morons.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then they're like, wait a minute, I still have to pay for it. The insurance, you did it on video that you destroyed your own vehicle. No, the insurance isn't going to pay for that. I can't wait for that court case. That court case is coming, and I know it. But our main, getting to our last but not least, well, not really last but not least. We're going to still try to cover some more stuff, but I want to get the main reason why we came on to do this show today was the Donald Trump actually putting in an executive order to get rid of Department of Education, which, watch this, Ronald Reagan.
I got it.
No, I got it. I got something else I want to show first. Okay.
Like to dissolve the $10 billion National Department of Education created by President Carter and turn schools back to the local school districts where we built the greatest public school system the world has ever seen.
Boom.
I think I can make a case that the decline in the quality of public education began when federal aid became federal interference.
He's exactly right.
Okay.
Now, mind you, I mean, Bill, you had one that you wanted to show too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Talk, no action, and politicians from both sides of the aisle have made promises and never delivered. They told us they'd control the border, never did. Move the embassy to Jerusalem, never did. Abolish the Department of Education, never did.
And I will tell you, it's 3 agencies of government when I get there that are gone: commerce, education, and the what's the third one there?
The government shouldn't be in the middle of everything, and we certainly don't need a federal Department of Education.
We propose to dismantle 2 cabinet departments, energy and education. There's only one way to shrink the size and cost of big government, and that is by eliminating agencies that are not needed and are getting in the way of the solution.
Well, Trump just did it with a stroke of a Sharpie.
I will sign an executive order to begin eliminating the federal Department of Education once and for all. We're going to be returning education very simply back to the states where it belongs. And this is a very popular thing to do, but much more importantly, it's a common sense thing to do, and it's going to work. I want to just make one little personal statement. Teachers to me are among the most important people in this country. And we're going to take care of our teachers. And I don't care if they're in the union or not in the union. That doesn't matter.
No offense. If you're paying them.
Free advertising, Bill.
Now and then the first thing the liberals are saying is, oh, but what about special needs people? Special needs people. You just cut the special needs people. Oh, what about the people with Pell Grants and all that? Well, they took care of that today. And we knew they would. They're not just eliminating everything. You've got departments, you've got this cabinet, this department. They all have overlapping administrative duties. So now the special needs people, the HHS is going to handle that, what the Department of Education was doing, and the Department of Commerce is going to be handling all of the Pell Grants and student loans and things like that.
Yeah, so it's not like he's dissolving it, but he's actually keeping a lot of the good stuff in it that was supposedly there.
Right. And yeah, keep going while I look.
Man, I have nothing.
You have nothing? Well, one of the big things that they do, they get onto Elon for this stuff, and Cory Booker got onto him for one thing. I responded to him.
Didn't they have like $25 billion or some something to that case to where that's how much it takes to run the Department of Education, and all the money wasn't going to the students.
Yeah, right. Something I heard just a little while ago is I know. I think 14% goes is all that goes to the states. But something I heard a little while ago that I haven't looked into and didn't know is there's a good percentage of the money that's not going through K through 12. There's to go to colleges.
Yeah,
and I just heard that. But I was looking for a post I had made. They blame everything on Elon. Oh, the Department of Education because of Elon. It's going because of Elon. No, like we showed, we've wanted to get rid of that since Reagan.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with it. And then the latest thing they also brought up is getting rid of the IRS agents. And Cory Booker is Elon Musk isn't going to save the government any money. It's the opposite. He's currently pursuing a move that could blow a multi-million-dollar hole in the federal budget deficit. He's going to get rid of the IRS agents, and it's those IRS agents that were going to be hired from the $1.7 trillion green scam.
Yeah.
And
here's
it isn't Elon. It has nothing to do with Elon. The day that we found that in there, the day before it even passed, we said, hold on, this has got to go. Yeah. Trump was saying it had to go from the moment he first started speaking about the election. But they pin all this crap on, ooh, it's Elon. Ooh, it's Elon. No, it had already been there. They even pushed the Department of getting rid of the Department of Education was because of Project 2025. Well, they didn't have Project 20. Well, actually, they did. But back in Reagan's time, Project 2025 actually started. It started in 1981.
I thought it was like a project back in like 83.
83. Okay, somewhere in the early 80s it started, and they just updated every few years.
Yeah,
but they blamed Project 2025, and that's why he's getting rid of all this stuff. No, it had nothing to do with it. We were already going to get rid of the Department of Education. That isn't some new revelation. We've been trying to do that all through the Bush administration every time, but they're going to stop it, and they're still going to stop it. So how much can he do? He can pull funding, he can shrink it, he can reallocate stuff, but he can't get rid of it. And are they going to force him to put all this stuff back? That's what I don't know. Once he's allocated it to the different agencies.
Yeah, because it actually takes it's going to take an act of Congress to fully get rid of it.
Right. But can he pare it down and redirect it to a different agency? So that program is still getting the money that Congress had appropriated to it. It's just through a different agency. So I don't know how that little technicality works.
It's one of those things you have to go in and find out after a while. A lot of the stuff that's happening right now, I mean, a lot of the judicial is trying to stop a lot of the stuff that Trump's doing. And what I found out just recently, like the Venezuela stuff, to where the plane was supposed to go, the plane headed to El Salvador to drop off the Venezuelans, the criminals, the actual gang members from Venezuela and everything. Well, what they just recently found out, and I'm still digging into it a little bit. I'll give you more information next week if I can find out if it's verified. And it was the judge was being extorted for trying to get him to do all that stuff. So,
hey, I got a quick question. Are you catching me on moving video right now?
No. What do you? Okay. While Bill gets back, I'm gonna show you something else that I found out this week is how much Pete Hegseth is actually saving our government. Hold on.
So today, I'm signing a memo directing the termination of over $580 million in DoD contracts and grants that do not match the priorities of this president or this department. In other words, they are not a good use of taxpayer dollars. Ultimately, that's who funds us, and we owe you transparency and making sure we're using it well. So here's quickly what we're canceling today. There's an HR software effort that was supposed to take a year and cost $36 million, but instead it's taken 8 years and is currently $280 million over budget, not delivering what it was supposed to. So that's 780% over budget. We're not doing that anymore. Number two, another batch of DoD grants, $360 million worth this time. Decarbonizing emissions from Navy ships, part of the Obama-Biden green agenda, that's $6 million. $5.2 million on something that would diversify and engage the Navy by engaging underrepresented BIPOC students and scholars. Another $9 million at a university to approach equitable AI and machine learning models. I need lethal machine learning models, not equitable machine learning models. And number three, in our ongoing effort to cut wasteful spending on external consulting services, $30 million in contracts with Gartner and McKinsey. It's IT, purchasing, unused licenses. So when you add it all up, $580 million in DoD contracts and grants, DOGE is helping us cut today. What does that bring our total number up? Total cuts, running total, $800 million in wasteful spending canceled over the first few weeks as DoD partners with DOGE here to make sure that our warfighters have what they need by cutting the waste, fraud, and abuse. They're working hard. We're working hard with them. We appreciate the work that they're doing, and we have a lot more coming, so stay tuned. So if you might as well not waste any more time right now, just sign this thing. How about that? So this makes it official. We're going to keep going for you guys.
See, okay, we're waiting on Bill. Bill's coming back. His computer froze. Every computer is messing up on Angry Me production. Oh, hopefully knock on wood, mine doesn't. But anyways, I love this. This is the first time that okay. This is the first time. I mean, they're doing it. I mean, they really are doing it for the people. And they're saying that, and everybody's going to say that watches this video is like, oh, you're just Trump fan, blah, blah, blah. Now, I like savings. Trump did some really stupid stuff this week. And I even said it last week that he shouldn't be outing his constituents that are trying to tell him that they need to stop doing it the wrong way. He should less, but it's one of the guys that he really, even in his first term, he was headbutting him. But anyways, and this is what I like about it. The fact of they're going out, they're telling everybody, hey, this is what we were voted in for, or this is the reason why I was hired, and I went through the process to be hired, and we're getting rid of your money. Not getting rid of the money, getting rid of the waste of the government, which we shouldn't have waste. There's lots of programs that I still believe in. It's like programs that actually help people out when they're down and up. I've used it. I had a daughter. Well, I have a daughter. And when she was born, we couldn't pay for the formula, so we had to go through WIC. I lost my job. My ex-wife was still on maternity leave. I was trying to find a new job. We had to get on food stamps. We had to have that little, catch for us, society catch us, and it helped us immensely. I would never get rid of those types of programs. Those programs are needed. Does a lot of people that overuse those programs? Yes. Are those programs used to basically as a catch to help people out that the government doesn't want to help out more? Like our servicemen. Servicemen shouldn't be on food stamps. And Bill's back. Servicemen shouldn't be on food stamps, in my opinion. And in the last administration, the Biden administration, they literally told them, "Oh, you can't afford to get on food stamps. You should be no. They should be able to go to the DFAC, go get a meal, or free, and not have to worry about it being ripped off of their amount of money."
Oh,
Jesus, Bill, you are. Thank God it wasn't any kind of thing that was inappropriate. And what I was talking about is Pete Hegseth got rid of close to $800 million of stuff that was basically waste through the DOD. Like a program they were supposed to. It was a program for HR that should have taken a year, and it took them 8 years to do, and they still haven't finished it. And it was $270 million.
Yeah, he went through a whole string of stuff sitting there at the desk that he got rid of.
Yeah, and he signed it right then and there. And that's what I was explaining, that we need to get rid of the waste. I mean, Clinton did it during his administration. That it was Ralph ROFA was the Doge of that time frame.
Well, the whole program Doge is working under now was Obama's. They just renamed it.
Yeah. Which a lot of people are upset to the fact that it's oh, we need to stop this. No, they're getting rid of a lot of stuff that was supposed to get rid of a long time ago. And kept on slipping through the cracks because someone else in the bureaucracy was like, no, we need this. We need this because I'm siphoning that thing. I'm milking it as much as I possibly can. And I still need to get my yacht. Who's that one that's pretty much stole $2 billion through a NGO?
No,
her initials are SA. I forget her name entirely. That's the only thing I can remember is SA.
Oh, vice president on one of the Star Treks, or president of the world. I can't believe Stacey Abrams.
Okay, yeah, Stacey Abrams.
Would you believe I actually looked her up by typing "President of the World Star Trek"? That was the search I used.
Well, she's a lawyer and former Georgia state representative. She's one ugly woman.
Yeah, she ran for governor. And her first time she ran for governor, she thought she was cheated, so she never conceded. She thought the election was stolen. Imagine that.
No, everybody that's okay. Here's the thing. Okay. And I want everybody to understand, no matter what party you are, when you lose, no matter what, everybody thinks they got the election stolen from them. I hate to tell you this. Hillary Clinton did a recount. No, she didn't do a recount, did she? She conceded. And she's no. But a lot of them do recounts. A lot of them don't do recounts because it does cost money to actually do a recount. I know Brendan Herrera was going to do a recount, but it was going to cost him like $1,000. He's like, nah, he won it. But God, this woman is just. I wonder what they're going to do with her, though.
I was looking for something else. I just thought of, but I wasn't prepared to bring it up. Do you have the video of how do you spell his name? Cusack.
Cusack?
Yeah.
John Cusack?
Yeah. Do you have his video?
Video of what, John?
Okay, I got it. The event coming up is called Tesla Takedown, and on his background he has the Boston Tesla Party.
Yep.
He has. Let's see. I got it. This is on his background.
The Boston Tesla. You know what?
But
I'm not angry.
He's promoting Tesla Takedown. And let me play his and the reason why I thought of John Cusack is we mentioned relating this to this, like, oh, I looked her up by thinking about this. So it made me think of the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, and then I related Kevin Bacon to John Cusack.
We have like the red wire in our brain at all times. We always connect stuff that it shouldn't be connecting. But while you're looking that up, here's something else that happened this week, and it was U.S. Peace Institute sabotaged this building. This was. I'm gonna get you the full video. It's a little bit longer. I'm gonna probably do the Secretary of Press here in a second, but.
Just 3 members after a dramatic standoff yesterday between the independent nonprofit and the Trump administration. Employees at the Institute say they called the police after staffers from the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, physically entered the Washington headquarters after several unsuccessful attempts. The agency's now fired president called it an illegal takeover of an institution that's not part of the executive branch.
This is not a government building. This building is a private building owned by the U.S. Institute of Peace. We have our own separate board. We have our own bypass authority to go directly to Congress in order to get our money. Somehow, all of those arguments have not prevailed.
The group, which helps prevent violent conflicts abroad, was created by Congress more than 40 years ago. It was one of several organizations named in an executive order last month directing them to reduce operations.
I find that kind of funny.
Well, here is John Cusack's take on Tesla.
I think everybody should really enjoy taking this guy down and the stock down, and because of the example it will set, nothing's going to. We are in an oligarchic country that's fascist and becoming more fascist every day, and that means people are going to die, and it's going to get as ugly as we can think. And the only way to stop that is if the people who have the money are afraid of us, the 99%, and it's the people who own the society, the owners. Those people, we have to make them really afraid. And what's happening now with Musk is making them very afraid. And that's a good thing. So everybody should really enjoy taking this guy down and the stock down. And because of the example.
Yeah. He's gone just total off the wall.
Here's the thing is,
and to me, the way he's promoting that, he's promoting terrorism.
Okay. Hear me out. let's just put the tinfoil hat on. What if he's paid to do this?
I don't think so.
I honestly,
I really, they are so intense with their hate. I mean, they love Europe. They always talk about Europe. They want the European system here, which if we had another hour and a half, I could begin to touch on what I've looked into.
We can do that next week. We can do that.
Yeah,
next week.
well, I could touch on what I've done into, but that's what the actors want. That's why they always talk about, oh, we're going to Europe. We're going to Europe. They want Europe to be like us. They want the complete open borders that Europe has right now.
And here's the thing. European people want to be more like America. It's always the grass is greener on the other side.
Well,
if you look at the politicians and everything, they're like, no, we're doing it our way. We're better. Every country thinks they're better. But if you actually ask the people, they're like, can we move to America? Okay, here's a fun story. When I was where was I at? I think it was in Afghanistan. I'm not really okay. Desert is desert to me about this time frame. I went all around the Middle East. Anyways, the people that's there, that's not in like the rich countries like Kuwait or Bahrain or where else? Dubai. Most of the people like are from like third world countries. I say third world. They're from poorish countries. They think in America everybody has like a house and a pool in the back, all kinds of stuff. They don't realize that we have poor people too. But they think, I mean, they think that we're like the super rich and they want to join up in America. This is like in impoverished European countries. There's certain places that understand and have been in the United States and know it's kind of weird. I had a Ukrainian woman ask me because she just moved to Texas at the time. She's like, "Is everybody racist here?" I'm like, "No. Why would you think that?" Well, in the movies, that's the fucking movies. Jesus.
But on the news, they're saying this and this and this.
That too, but we're not racist here.
But pretty much all Germany is getting right now is state-run propaganda media.
Yeah.
So the majority of the Germans, they go for the open border. If you want to close the border and feel proud about your country, you're a Nazi. So they really fight the conservatives. The conservatives they're gaining, but it's an undercurrent. You can find those people, you can find those groups that want that, but they're too conditioned. Europe is too conditioned for it. You get people like Australia. They're going, Trump, please tariff the hell out of us because we want to break this liberal government. And the same thing's happening in Canada. I follow Canada really, really close. Alberta 51. So Danielle Smith just came out and let's see, she posted this yesterday afternoon. And I've been paying attention between Danielle Smith, she's the premier of Alberta, and then Carney, the one who not really elected, partially elected, took over from Trudeau, but then he has up till October to call for a real election, and he can call for it at any time, so they could watch the polls and go, okay, we're leading in the polls now, call an election now. So it's a bizarre system. But here's what she put out. Now, she was friends with Trump, really good friends, because we've got the oil agreement. We had the oil agreements with them, and that's one of the reasons he dropped the tariff for the oil and gas. But they get raked over the coals by the rest of Canada. Alberta does. So she put this out. At his request, I met with Prime Minister Mark Carney today. We had a very frank discussion in which I made it clear that Albertans will no longer tolerate the way we've been treated by the federal liberals over the past 10 years. I provide a specific list of demands the next prime minister, regardless of who that is, must address within the first 6 months of their term to avoid an unprecedented national unity crisis. And I'll list these off. There's no way in hell they're going to agree to it. This includes guaranteeing Alberta full access to oil and gas corridors to the north, east, and west, repealing Bill C-69, aka the No New Pipelines Act. So they've got the oil in Alberta, but they can't export it to other countries. They don't have the pipelines for it to the coast. Lifting the tanker ban off the British Columbia coast, eliminating the oil and gas emissions cap, which is a production cap. So the Canada, their main government just pounds the hell out of Alberta. Scrapping the so-called clean energy regulations. Yeah, they're going to go for that. Ending the prohibition on single-use plastics. Abandoning the net zero car mandate. See, she's setting this up and she's throwing a poison pill out. They're never going to go for it. Returning oversight of the industrial carbon tax to the provinces, because she doesn't like the federal government, and halting the federal censorship of energy companies. Now, this is the real good one. I also made it clear that Alberta, as owner of the resource, will not accept an export tax or restriction of Alberta's oil and gas to the United States, and that our province is no longer agreeable to subsidizing other large provinces who are fully capable of funding themselves. Lastly, I made it clear that the federal mismanagement of Jasper and Banff National Parks resulted in last year's tragic wildfire and is endangering Banff must be rectified immediately. With the federal elections about to be called, I encourage all Albertans to get involved. Okay. Basically, they're not going to go for that. So the first response to that is our province is no longer agreeable to subsidizing other provinces who are fully capable in funding themselves. In other words, no more equalization payments to Quebec. Party's over. Canada's broken. Alberta independence or Alberta 51. So there's a lot of people in Alberta. Now, this is the first time I've seen the just flat out independence from Canada. But now I'm seeing some that say Alberta independence or Alberta 51. And I had heard a little mention of it, but for the first time yesterday, I actually saw someone from Saskatchewan saying Saskatchewan 52nd. We don't want all of Canada. We absolutely don't want all of Canada. Canada is insane. We would have permanent liberal senators. Alberta, definitely. Conservatives are big in the lead there. And they have the resources we want anyway. They have the oil and natural gas. And Saskatchewan right next to them, they're more on the conservative side too. So we could take them.
Well, it's okay, here's the thing. Okay. You're talking about conservatives, but they lean more left, honestly.
Not the ones in not the party that is getting the votes in Alberta. They're not even left leaning. They're full blown MAGA conservative type. I mean, they adore Trump, and they want him to help them, because part of it is the criminal Chinese element in there, and the federal government of Canada just lets it run amok. They're purchased by the Chinese, and Alberta, the people of Alberta say the only way to get them out, because they're doing just like letting the criminals go that under Biden that was happening. So they see the only way is to have a conservative leader or just leave and become part of someone who's trying to help. They look at Trump as, okay, Trump is under the table actually doing the tariff, trying to force the Chinese issue. And that's one of the things that they say they can never get rid of with the liberals in power. And even if conservatives take over, there's so much corruption, just like the massive corruption we're finding with USAID and everywhere. There's massive corruption. They're bowing down to the people making the drugs, the Chinese triads. So just more than just the oil, natural gas, the economic aspect of it, they're looking for the safety aspect too.
Okay.
and they're just not getting it.
All right. Well, that's good enough for today. Next week we'll go on with more because I have next day off. But thank you all for listening. I mean, I appreciate that. Thank anybody that listens to looks at the shorts, likes our shorts, whatever shorts. But thank you all for paying someone attention to some of our craziness, even though for the past couple of weeks we had the essence of Hitler. Apparently, we needed to get rid of, and we listened to you. We got Larry the Hitler stash. It wasn't. I mean, it's still trying to peek out. But luckily, you have it blended in.
Yeah, I did it. I did it Monday, so it's like this is going to be something. I'm gonna have to do this every damn Wednesday or something. I'm gonna have to do that, and you should have seen it Monday because I wanted to. You know, I sometimes go overboard on things. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. So yeah. I wanted to make sure it wasn't white on the sides and the green screen wouldn't blend into it. So, you know, they say leave it 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the most in there. About 30 minutes later, I wash it out and it's just black.
You know, you can always just do a Sharpie, right?
A Sharpie would work better to put it in, not to cover it to take it out.
Anyways, I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Wild William.
Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.
Bye all.